Hello and welcome to Mariseng Digital. Let's cook. So first we're going to be setting up our workspace, and at this point I'm assuming you already downloaded your VS Code, which is going to be your text editor, right? So yeah, getting to it, first you're going to have to sort out your folder situation. So what I did was I made a folder called FNB App Academy on my desktop, and this is in that folder, right? You can then make another folder. We're gonna call that week one because I want to separate my work in the different weeks that we're gonna be going through, right? And then in that week one, you also have to gonna make another folder, right? As instructed, and that one is going to be called websites, right? And then in that one, which is called websites, we're gonna have to now make a folder where they said you can call it whatever you like. So what I like, I'm gonna call mine, um, let's say Grootman, Grootman Lee, because my friends call me Lee. All right, but you can call yours whatever you like. But this is going to be the first website we're gonna make, right? So the HTML one, right? Okay, cool, guys. So after creating that folder, just gonna put it away, and then we're now gonna open VS Code. Now there's a shortcut on how to get to that folder. You're just going to hold Control, and then you're going to press KO, right? Then it's going to open your file explorer, and then you're going to navigate to that Grootman. Don't double click into that Grootman, just click it once and then say open. Then you're going to come to this screen. Now you're going to be in Grootmanly. So now we are working in Grootmanly, right? At this point. Sharp. So firstly, we're going to have to make our first file, which is our first HTML file. We're going to call it index.html, and this is going to be our first work file, right? So in the videos we got, um, they do show us how to write out sort of like the framework or the bare bones of this thing, but ever since the video was made, there have been many shortcuts. So you're only going to have to put the exclamation mark and then press enter. And then all of that is going to be done for you. It is sort of a template. Now, all this stuff here on top, like the language and the metadata, viewports, and all that stuff, is all very important information, but we do not have to talk about it now. Talk about it at a later stage. So for now, let's just focus on the part that they are telling us about, which is the part where we're going to be focusing about the stuff in the HTML and mainly in the body text. So I would advise you to go here to extensions and get an extension called live preview, right? So a live preview would allow you to see what you're doing when you're doing it. So just when it pops up there from Microsoft, click the install button, and there you go, it is now installed. And then you're just going to go back and you're going to click on the HTML file, so index.html. Then right click and show preview, and that is now showing you what is on your HTML file, right? So whatever we do add onto the code, we can see there if you add it correctly anyway. So let's start by adding our paragraph tags, and as you can see, when you write on the left, or you can then see exactly what it's going to look like in your browser because it's showing you a live preview of the browser, right? So then we're just going to add our paragraph tags with hello everyone, and the second one saying this is awesome, according to obviously what we're doing from the instructions we got, right, guys? Okay, guys, so now we're getting to the point where we are going to be putting on our header tags. So it's going to be H1, and as soon as you close the tag, the closing one will appear next to it automatically. So you don't have to worry about that. And then the first H1 that we're going to have to put in is going to be homepage. Now, as you see, what you put in your code, you can see using the live preview extension on your right? And at this point, we know that we have to have 6 of these, so H1 up until H6. Now, to save some time, and get the work done in a rather more effective manner, we can just copy and then paste all these H1s up until what is going to be H6. So we're just going to keep it H1 for now. So you're going to copy and paste up until you have 6 of these guys. All right. Now that you have 6 of these guys, it's going to be very easy to then just change the 1 to a 2. And that's going to change also the closing tag as well. So then it's going to be, after that it's H3, and click on it, and then H4, and click on it, and then H5, same story, click on it, and then after that we're going to go into H6 and click on that. So now, as you can see, you have H1 up until H6. They are all different sizes. That is the reason for the number. The number talks about the size. So then we're going to change the text that it has to be from H2, right? Because H1 is going to stay home page. So also, to be more effective, again, we're just gonna copy and paste because you already have the right sizing. We just have to change the wording. So we're just going to copy and paste and replace all the home page text with "this is a heading" text. Again, this is just to save time because sometimes as a developer you have to work fast. And there you go. As you can see, all of them are placed properly with the right size and the right text. And that is that. Okay, so now let's add some images. There's a link at the bottom of this page where you can download the images that we're going to use. Okay, so on the left panel, there's a item there or icon where that says new folder. Click it, and then we're going to call our folder images. This is where you're going to store your images, and it's going to give you a folder like this, which is going to be a zip file. So to be able to use the images in, you have to extract them. So that's with a right click, and then you're either going to see an option saying extract here or extract all. Then you're going to click it. Then it's going to make another folder that is not a zip file. Then just delete the other one and then come into this one. Then gonna come into the other one called images, and there are all of your images. You're then going to take all of these images and copy them, and then you're going to paste them into that Grootman Lee when you're going to go into it, and then that images folder that we made from VS Code is going to be in that Grootman Lee, whatever you called yours, and you're going to paste all the images in there, right? So yeah, this is just the process. You know how I structured mine is going to be week 1, go into week 1, go into websites, and then in Grootman Lee, there's going to be that images one that we made, right? You're going to paste all your images in there. And then now to add it, you're going to put an IMG, and then obviously there's going to be a source. Now you'll see that once you start writing, it does give you options. So if what you're looking for is there, just click it, please. And then we also know the image name that we want. So firstly, we're going to go to the folder. So you're going to start typing images, and then obviously you see it popped up, you click it, then it's going to ask you in that folder, which one do you want? So it's going to give you all the options in there. And we know that the one we want is the one called boat, so we're going to click that. And as you see, as soon as you click it, it pops up on the web browser, or in the live preview rather. And because we see some red there, and we do not want to see some red normally, right? Obviously something is missing, so maybe it is a closing tag. So let's go ahead and just add a closing tag for this image. All right, and then the red goes away, happy chappy. And as you can see, the image showed up on the right. So far so good. Now let's change the size. Okay, firstly, you can work on the width. So then when you say width, make sure you type everything correctly. And then when you start typing, when it pops up, just click it to make it absolutely right. So it writes everything else for you. You then just have to add how big you want to make it, right? So let's try, let's start with making it 120. And as you can see, change the width, or you can make it height, which can also change the size of it. As you can see, you can either make it 120 or anything you wish, really. You can play around with the number just to see what it looks like in your view preview. And then if you want to look at it in the actual browser, there's an option where you say open, and it's going to open the browser. And sometimes when working with images, you are given constraints, so they give you the width and the height. So this is how you add both for your image, right? So then you're just going to go next to it and start writing. Again, it pops up, click it, and then just add the number that you wish, right? But then according to the ones that we have to follow, the height, I believe it should be, I think it is 100. And then we also have the width for it, which in this case is going to be 150. So again, we know that we have to have three of these images. So we're going to go to that line 17. If you just click on 17, it's going to select everything in that line. Then Control C to copy, right? So let's just go to the next line and then Control V to paste everything that is on that line. And then we want our code to look good and not, cutty and choppy. So just backspace to make sure everything is in that line for this particular one, right? And then again, go under it and then just Control V. Again, just clean up and just make sure everything is in that one line for this particular one. This isn't always the case, but for this one, it does look better for this, and the code is easier to read. Now we have our images, and all we have to do is change the actual images, right? But the sizing is right and the code is right? So we're just going to go into that second one and backspace, delete everything there except the word image, right? So we're going to leave space to put in an S. So when you put in the S, that pops up, and then we click on it, and then we are going to pick the second image, right? And then there you go, the image changed. So we're going to do the same thing for the third one, just backspace, including the S, so that we can type it in again, because when we type it in again, that pops up. Then we can click it and pick up a third image. And after picking our third image, there you go, it pops up, and then we have it on our web preview, right? If you want to go see it, again, open in browser, then you can go have a look at it in your browser, but it is going to look like this live preview. Okay, so we're finally going to work on some hyperlinks. So how to put in a hyperlink is going to be, it's called an anchor tag, right? So writing it isn't difficult. It's just something you have to remember. So it's going to be open tag, the letter A. Then after the letter A, you have to put in something called an href, right? And then when it pops up there, just click it to make things easier for yourself. And then two inverted commas are going to pop up. The in between is where you have to put in the link of where this thing you want to go, right? But you can leave it for now. Let's just close that. Have a closing anchor tag. Then we're going to write, click this if you want to go to Google, right? And because you want it to go to Google, we're going to go to a browser. Unless you know Google's address off by heart, then you're going to put it between those two inverted commas, right? And that is the website where it's going to take you when you click those words. Click here to go to Google, right, guys? Right, and we also know that we have to add another anchor tag, that one that has to go and take us to CompuKids, right, guys? So again, to save time, you know what we do? We have all the right stuff, so we're just gonna copy everything and then just paste it under it, right? Again, clean up, make sure everything looks good. So now we have to change two things: the text, because this one isn't going to take us to Google, it's going to take us to CompuKids, right? And then again, go get the actual website link from CompuKids, and then we're going to paste it there where we put the Google link, because just writing CompuKids isn't enough, because clicking on that one will still take you to Google unless you change the actual link. And there you go. Now clicking on that, click here to go to CompuKids will actually take you to the CompuKids website. And yeah, there you go. You guys have made your first anchor tag for a hyperlink. Well done, guys. Okay, now we have to add our second page, which is going to be the about page, right? So then you're just going to go to create new file, and then you're going to write about.html, because we are still working on HTML file, right? So after creating it, just click enter after writing .html, And there you are again. And then remember, we have a shortcut to create our skeleton. So it's just going to write exclamation mark and then hit enter. Then it's going to write all of that for you, right? Then we go down to the body, and then we're going to put in our H2. And then remember, when you close it, it's going to close it automatically. Then just write in between them, right? And then here we are going to say about us, right? And you're going to go on to the next line, and then on the next line we're going to put a paragraph tag, guys. And in that paragraph tag we're going to put the words hello and welcome, right? So this is on the about us page, right, guys? And then under that hello and welcome, we're going to put an anchor, because remember, we're going to be on another page, so you have to find a way to go back to the home page, which is our index.html. So we're going to use the href, then we're going to put in index.html, right? Then we're going to simply write click here to go to home, right? And then that's going to take us back to our HTML file, which is currently on the right. It's still on the view preview, right, guys? So okay, now that's been built properly, and now we just have to connect this page to our original index.html. Alright, guys, so we're going to go to that index.html, and then we are simply going to go under that last one that we had put in for CompuKids, and just next to it, or rather under it, you're just going to put in the anchor tag now. That is going to take us to what? That is going to take us to our about us page, right, guys? So we're going to go just under that complicates one, and then we're going to start again with the anchor tag, and then with the href as well. Very important, guys. So then after that, it's going to give us those semicolons, and then we'll leave it alone for now. Just put in the text, which is going to say click here to go to about us, right? Because we want to take them to that about us page that we just made. Okay, so then after putting in the text, as you can see, it popped up on the view preview. So now we just have to add the link to the about.html. So in there, as soon as you start writing the A, it's going to pop up an about.html, and that's the one we want. So we click it, and there you go. It is working as it should. And because we made our way back, when you click on go back to home, it brings you back to index.html. And you have successfully created a link between two pages. And let's go ahead and add our third page, which is going to be boat.html, right? Now remember, this one is just going to have a bit of text, but mostly just an image, right? So when it opens, remember again, exclamation mark, enter, and then we're going to go to that body section, right, guys? So when you get there, just click on it, and then first thing we're going to have to do is add our h1 tag, right, which is going to be our heading. And then we're just going to open tag h1, close, and then in between them we're going to write boat, right? So that's going to be the page. And then you're going to go to the end of that line and just press enter to go to the next line, and there is where we're going to actually put our image, right? So as you know, when you're working with images, you're going to have to put in an image tag, which is img, and then obviously after that, just press S, and as soon as you do, options will pop up and you'll see src, which is the source, and then just go in between the semicolons for the images, which is our folder, and then choose that boat image, which is the one we are going to use, right? And then under that, we also have to make a way to go back, as you know. So then we're going to put an anchor tag with the href, and because we want it to go back to our index.html, we're going to add that there. And then again, we see some red, so as we know, that means something is missing, and then we're just going to put the closing tag, right? Then the text that is going to take us there is going to be the one just home plainly, right, guys? So then after doing that, this code is now correct, right? So then our both HTML file has been done correctly. And then what we can do to put things properly, as you know, we like to put our things neatly. You're gonna put a break, right? So it's just open tag br/close tag, right? That makes takes the next text to the next line so that it's not next to the image, right? And as you can see, that's how it looks with the view preview. And yes, when you click on home, it takes you back to our index.html file. And there you go, guys. You made a page. And now we have to, okay, so now it's finding a way from the index.html file to go to that image, the boat file, right? So we're going to have to turn that boat image into a link, so a hyperlink using an anchor tag, right? So we're going to put that anchor tag before the image tag, right? So it's going to be a and href, and then you're going to obviously select the boat.html, right? So just make sure that the a is in the beginning and the other one is right at the end of that image line where you put in the source, right? So that that whole thing is a tag. And as you can see, when you hover on it, now you can click on it and they'll take you to the boat page, and then you click on home and it will then take you back to our index.html file. And there you go, guys. That is all we had to do for week 1. So stay tuned. Week 2 coming in hot. Thank you, guys.